So we're going to talk a little bit about seeing depth and sort of how I sort of put this all together. And um, there was a there was a subscriber who had some questions about this based on my last video, which was a little bit confusing on the seating depth. And um, I'm saying your name, Tim. Thank you. Uh, Tim was also the very first uh, donator to the Patreon, which we just posted. How did you do that so fast? Either way, thanks. Appreciate it a lot. So, this is for you, and of course, other people watching too, but this is for you. So, what I would normally do is I take a case and I take my tools here. Um, I check the chamber. Take my overall length gauge here from Hornady and put a bullet in there and check the chamber in the rifle and make sure that okay, so this is where it's hitting the lands, and that's great. And so I know that measurement. And I know that measurement because I take that measurement, right? So you put this on here with the bullet and you measure it. And so now what I did wrong was I did not back this out far enough. So the bullet actually wound up being seated just about 10 thousandths off the lands, which in that case was okay because that was actually one of the seating depths that I was going to test. And what I should have done was back this off even further. And so had I backed this off a lot further and then measured it and go, okay, well, I'm 20 thousandths too long. Well, what I would do is I would back this down to, let's say, 15. I'd take 15 thousandths down. I would remeasure it because sometimes these aren't always spot on. And so I want to make sure I give myself just that little bit of wiggle room and go, okay, remeasure it and go, okay, well, I still have to come down 5 or maybe 3. And so I dial it, reseat, dial it, reseat until I get that perfect, that absolute perfect, 2.258 or whatever it was. And then I can adjust it from there in very small increments. And so there was another question too that came up, and that was, Berger versus Hornady, and somebody else sent me an email about Sierra bullets and stuff like that. So there's a little bit to that too. Now, Berger, and they will even tell you right on their website, Bergers typically shoot the best on when they're touching the riflings or even jammed into the riflings by about 5 thousandths. And it's been my experience that that is actually that's a very accurate statement. Now that is just with Berger in my experience. Now, that is not true with Hornady. So these ELDs shoot the best about 10 thousandths off the lands. So I never seat them on the lands. Now, I may seat them on the lands just to see, right? Just to test it and see what they do. But typically, they shoot the best about 10 thousandths off the lens. So they have a 10 thousandths jump into that rifling, and that typically works pretty good. There are other bullets out there, like in this case, I'm shooting, I'm a huge 243 fan, and amongst other things too, but so these 87 grain bullets actually shoot the best when you load them to the maximum overall length in the book. And so, get your Hornady book out, and whatever that says, it's been my experience. Now, this might not be true for everybody, but it's been my experience that the factory SAAMI specs for the overall length on the 87 grain, they do shoot the best. Sierra bullets. So I've got some Sierra bullets here too. These are 85 grain bullets, and these also shoot the best on the factory specs. And if I try to get those up on the lands, I come into two problems, and you'll have to, this is actually true amongst just about all calibers, right? So you could have 7mm 300 Win Mag, 243, doesn't matter. The lighter bullets are much shorter in most cases. And getting those bullets to touch the rifling without falling out of the case can be hard to do. So if if I was to seat a Sierra bullet, which is a very, very short bullet, in comparison to, I don't know, let's take out a 95 grain bullet here, and you'll see the difference here in length. Obviously, there's a very big difference in length, and so you may not be able to seat these out to touch the rifling anyways, and typically speaking, they don't shoot that well. They actually shoot like crap. You're better off to get these down to the SAAMI specs in the overall length of this. It's only with the longer VDL, not VDL, VLD or ELD style, the very long torpedo-looking bullets that actually like to be either very close or into touching those riflings. So what I do is I just simply back this out further than I did before and seat that bullet and take a measurement, figure out how far I have to go down, make the adjustment, seat it again. And what I'll do is well, back to burgers, is I'll go on the rifling, couple thousands, to sort of give me a variety to shoot, to figure out, okay, well, it likes this, doesn't like that. This one's okay, that one's not. This one's okay, and so on and so forth. My personal experience, burger on the lands, longer, heavier, not that one, but ELD bullets, 10 thousandths off the lands, and then all the real lightweight stuff, factory specs. Pretty simple. And that's pretty much held true for, we've done it with 30-06, 308s, 7mm, 300 Win Mag, 243s. We've done it with a variety of rifles, and kind of that general consensus of, lighter bullets, factory, heavier bullets on the lands, or 10 thousandths, depending on the brand of bullets you're shooting. So, I hope that kind of clears up what we were talking about, and I wanted to make this video honestly just for Tim, because he was the first donator to my Patreon account, and I wanted to give something back and sort of clarify that the best I can, even though I'm rambling again. What do you do? So if anybody has any questions, just drop them in the comments below. If I can help explain this further, or if I have to do a third video to sort of answer that a little bit better, or go into some more description, I will. And so in the meantime, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and thank you so much for the donation. I will put it to good use. Every month I will put that to good use. And so I hope to bring you more and more content that sort of drills into the finer workings of reloading and long-range shooting, and we're going to get into some other stuff on shooting positions and different stuff. So just a lot of stuff, all kinds of stuff, and some cooking too, because we like to cook, because if you hunt, you have to cook. So let's cook. Anyways, that's what I have. So thanks everybody, and we will be back probably sooner than you think. So stay tuned.